Purpose podcast, where we explore the messy, marvelous, and sometimes downright hilarious journey of finding purpose in a world that often feels like a circus. I'm your host, Glennette, and today is the first day back. We've been gone for a minute, but hey, we're back. Now, you might be wondering, is this a Christian podcast or a secular one? Well, my friend, it's a little bit of both. We believe that life is a colorful tapestry woven with threads of faith, doubt, and everything in between. So whether you're a devout believer, a spiritual seeker, or simply somebody curious about the bigger questions in life, this is the podcast for you. So today, I am so honored to welcome Pastor Latonya McIntosh. Hey!
Hello!
She is our first guest in this new season.
Woo.
I'm going to need you all to expect lively discussions, thought-provoking interviews, and maybe even a few jaw-dropping revelations along the way. We're going to have a marvelous, marvelous time. Now, today, our subject today is mental health and trauma in the church. And so I couldn't think of a better person to help me discuss this than Pastor McIntosh. So tell them about yourself.
Hello, everyone, audience. I am Pastor Latonya McIntosh, and I'm so excited to be with my friend and sister, Glennette. Yes. I'm excited to be on this podcast. First of all, I want to say I'm a preacher. So I'm trying to adjust and learn how to talk to my audience without preaching to them. So I'm excited to be here today, and I pray that something that will be said that will be able to break chains, destroy yokes, all of that stuff, but also to get some conversation going on things that we need to take care of, help out with, all of that good stuff. So stay tuned. We're here, and I'm ready to go. I've been pastoring for about 14 years. So, and gone through so many difficult transitions in life, but to God be the glory. I'm still here, in the words of Dorinda Clark Cole, and it's by the grace of God.
Oh, I love it. One of the reasons why I wanted to have a podcast is Broken for Purpose has been my baby for years. Some people don't. I was raised in foster care. I was a ward of the court until I was 18. 36 foster homes, uncountable shelters, detention centers. If it could be there, I was there. I was a chronic runaway. I had all these labels. And so as I became an adult and aged out of the system, I felt broken on all sides, broken on the inside. I didn't see people would, you'd go to these things and they'd be like, well, where do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And I never saw myself anywhere. It was just white noise, And so I didn't think that I would have made it to now. I didn't think that I would have even the opportunities that have come my way, with no education, no family, no support system. I just felt like I was out there broken. And it wasn't until I came to Texas, found my church, Christ Cathedral, hey, my pastor, Pastor Sherman Allen, my co-pastor, Tanya Allen, Pastor Laura. It wasn't until I met these people that I started finding purpose in my brokenness. And so that's how this Broken for Purpose thing has came about. And I wanted to talk about mental illness and trauma in church, because for so many years, it's been a stigma. I suffer with anxiety. I suffer with panic attacks. I suffer with PTSD, which are all mental illnesses. But when you think mental illness, you think bipolar, schizophrenia, and you don't want those labels. But it has a whole rainbow of things. And then being in church, you hear, oh, that's the devil. You need to pray it out. You need to fast about it. But no, these things are real. And right. And so, even when you go through any kind of trauma, and not just childhood trauma, but physical trauma, emotional trauma, all these things, they combine to do mental health, and I know that you've gone through some things. If you don't mind talking about them, I do have a list of questions, but we just gonna talk. Okay. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've gone through.
Well, first of all, this is very interesting because before becoming a pastor, I was a nurse. And so I was a medical surgical nurse, or as we call it, a med-surg nurse. And I did a lot of floating in the hospital, and one particular place in the hospital on the 5th floor, like Brother Man said, was the psychiatry. And I was very, very shocked that a lot of the nurses that were taking care of the patients, also to get a break, they admitted themselves on the 5th floor. And it was talking to different patients. We had what was called the Pixie machine. You had to, get the medication out of the Pixie machine. And these different people went through so much. And the first thing I remember in my nursing program that we were taught is to bring them back to reality, because a lot of them think they're I had one patient that said, "Don't you see Michael Jordan sitting right there? He's this and he's that." I said, "Michael Jordan is not in this room, it's you and I. So what would you like to say to us?" And it takes a special individual that have patience and care, that can deal with mental illness across the board. So before I became a pastor, I was a nurse, and I was able to see the background and the dirty parts that people don't, rolling my sleeves of getting it dirty, going in there, in the trenches, putting my boots on, strapping them up, and going in there. But afterwards, I had to make sure that didn't, infiltrate me, because I'm the type of individual that I care. I care. Now, how am I to help you? What am I to do? And so I told some of the nurses that were up there, I was like, we gotta get to the bottom of this. This is demonic. It's very, to see people who are not there, and you have to bring them back into the now reality, it's a challenge. So I had that experience as well.
So what mental health, childhood trauma, and the church, what are some of the common misconceptions about mental illness and trauma within religious communities, and how can we address them?
Well, the church can be a really difficult place for members or even visitors who struggle with mental illness, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorders, mental disorders, because we say the church is a hospital, but we don't have the proper doctors and nurses to minister or administer what they actually need. Some stuff cannot be cast out. You gotta counsel the people. You really, if this is a hospital, there's so many different facets of hospitals. So how are we to help these broken people that have gone through so much, some from children and it has grown to an adulthood. So what is childhood trauma? Well, the definition says it impacts one's life and faith. Negative events that they have to navigate through, and it's really hard when you come to the church with mental illness or have issues and want the church to help you, because our church, we're loud and that's I don't need that. I need you to talk to me. Give me step by step, what do we need to do to help you? So these experiences, they happen, when a child suffers abuse, like you were saying, assaults, neglect, lack of love, lack of care, and we have all this bottled up in one individual, and but we're one body but many members. So I may not know how to help minister to you, but this sister right here, she works in mental health. She's a nurse, a psychiatrist, and so we have to help in that way. Yeah, it's a big misconception, but it's doable. It's very doable.
I worked in mental health for 15 years. I did inpatient psych for 15 years. I worked in different hospitals, on the floor, like you said, in the trenches. And what I found is that I had to take a step back because it was affecting my mental health. A lot of times you say you leave that at the door and you go home, but that stuff carries with you, especially when you care, And so even recently, I found myself dealing with depression, and it didn't help with this rain and this lack of sunshine. I was like, oh my God, I can't shake it, and I go to church and I sit under powerful people, and I rub elbows with people that cast out this and call this out, and I was like, I can't get right, and then it makes you feel even worse because you know the scriptures, you know to pray, you have people praying for you, but it made me feel some kind of way, which made it even worse. And then going out the world, it just seems to be changing day by day by day, and not for the better, And so you go to work and you deal with people. I work in the ER now, so I stepped away from the psych hospital, but they done followed me to the ER. I mean, and when I say this, I am literally like for real. It's like every time I go to work, I'm gonna sit on a psych patient, and I'm just like, I left it. This is not what I said I wanted to do, And at work, they're like, but you just have a way with them, and I was like, but I don't want to. And so, but over the years, another question that I have is, how can we encourage open and honest conversations about mental health and trauma in the church?
One, you need to acknowledge that mental illness is real. It's real in the church. It's real because most people, here's the thing, most people of God attributed mental illness to sin, but God said it's, in life we're going to have troubles. We're going to have troubles. But God said, in life we're going to have troubles. He even said in the last days, men's heart will fail them because of fear. So one, we have to acknowledge that mental health illness is real. If we start there and have an open conversation about it, I believe we'll be able to handle it a lot better and not say, come out of that sin, come out. Don't yell at me because I'm already hearing voices in my head. So which one do I listen to? You're screaming at me and the devil's over here giving me misconceptions about what you're saying, and I leave here, as you say, broken.
Right. And one of the other things that we have to realize, and I don't want to say, well, yeah, I'm gonna say a cultural thing is that we have got to stop being so judgmental. That is one of my biggest things. Is we as Black folks,
absolutely,
as they say, we will sit on folks and look at them.
Yes, yes. And you have no idea, because I'm smiling or I'm dressed to the nine, but you tore up from the neck up and a wreck up. You know what they say. So
tore up from the floor up. Yes.
Tore up from the floor up, a wreck up from the neck up.
Neck up. Yes.
So it is. You really have to pray and ask God every single day, what is my assignment for today? Who do you want me to help? How can I and be equipped with it? I think the church, the Black church, we're very emotional people. And then when the emotion is, you come in, oh, we had a good time at church today. What did the pastor talk about? He talked about this. But you leave as messed up as you were before you came. Because all you did was roll around on the floor, holler and scream, and just, it's like bacteria. You got to shine a light on it so it can die. So it can die.
Yes, like those black lights.
Absolutely.
It may look clean in daylight, but when you cut the light off and you put the black light on, you see all the germs and the nasty stuff.
That's what police officers do at the crime scene. Put the illumination on it. I see you're shouting. What is the blackness, the darkness in your heart? That I think, because we're just so heavenly minded. We're no earthly. No, they're just.
One of the things that used to, oh my goodness, it was like during my darkest times, you have, I'm working on this thing, and it's called Unmasking the Hidden Wounds.
That's good.
And so one of the things that I would always remember is that I could be smiling, because that's my thing. I'm not trying to be a burden on anybody. Yeah. And so it's like you go
If I can interject, most nurses are like that. Most medical professionals, I can help you, but but
and I would be sitting there, and it would be like on the inside I would be dying, and then I would hear these people talk about, God talked to me, He's called me to the nations, and I'm supposed to be doing this, and I would be like, but I'm right here, and you can't hear me screaming.
Hello. And you hear me in my silence.
I'm like, I'm holding on barely by my tippy, and, and my nails is breaking, and I'm about to fall, and who's gonna catch me, And so mental health is like a passion to me, because I started off working with adolescents.
Okay.
Because I saw me in them. Mm-hmm. I remember. But when I was in foster care, we didn't have where you could, the therapy, the medication, the psych hospitals. It was, you deal with it.
You just deal with it.
You keep moving. I'm pretty sure I got all kind of undiagnosis. but you know, and it was just you just have to deal with it, but you can only deal with so much before you start breaking down, you know.
Absolutely.
And so that I started working with the kids, and I started just what I found is that you have to build rapport and you have to build trust. And
Absolutely.
and kids don't think, when they see adults, they don't think, oh, they ain't never been through nothing. All they see is what we are now.
Absolutely.
You know, you don't know the trauma and the trials and the days that you sit there and like, why me?
Absolutely. The rejects, all
you
of
know,
that.
and so, you know, I had to show them, I've been there, you know, got the t-shirt, got a couple of them, as a matter of fact. You know, and because I remember one day one of the girls told me, you don't know what I'm going through. You get paid to do this, baby. If this happened to you, I got you.
Listen,
you know,
they only paying me because I'm qualified. I've been through it.
That, you know, and I really think, I'd like to say, I think that as time goes and the younger generation comes in the church, and they realize that, you know, it's not just spiritual.
Right.
You know, there are chemical imbalances. I mean, we're a body, and sometimes we get thrown out of whack, you know. And so just like when you have a headache, you know, that's your body, something's going on.
It's off, yeah.
Right. And you go get you a Tylenol, a Motrin or something, you know, you still pray about it, but you realize that sometimes that's not all there is.
Yeah, your body is giving you a hint that I'm breaking down. So, and you, most of the time, if we get a headache, see, because I had a headache and I was just used to taking Tylenol or whatever suppressed the headache, but then the headaches got more severe. They got more severe, and I said, okay, something is wrong. And then one day, the headache landed me in the hospital when I had the brain surgery. And I'm saying, God, I've been in the medical realm for years. I never thought this would happen to me. But you never go through anything for yourself. You're always going through for somebody else. So the old folks used to say, if you're going through, go on through. Get through to the other end, because at the other end of the tunnel, there's a light shining, and you will be the brightness in someone else's life, because you're able to help them live out the process. A lot of people don't want to go through the process, but you gotta go. You gotta go through the process. It makes you more aware and attentive and to help others. You got to go through the process. Lord, I was a nurse for almost 20 years. Dealt with everything from pediatrics to geriatrics.
Right.
I dealt with all of it, but now it's me.
Right.
That need the help. And so, you know, I had to get to the right individual. I need some help. You know, you can pray, you can cry, you can have the word hidden in your heart so you won't sin against him. Some of this stuff ain't sin and weight.
Right.
It's weighing me down, but it's not sin. I need help. I need help. And so you like pastors, ministers, elders, talk about it. Talk about the mental illness. Talk about it in your sermons. Talk about it in study groups, you know, in classes, or like we're doing today in a public forum. It has to be addressed.
Right.
It has to be addressed. Don't keep just saying, "Oh, we're gonna pray," and that's old school. The method has not changed. things, everything else is different. But
Right.
we have the same method. We got Jesus. You didn't go around preaching. He talked to the people.
Right.
He taught.
And the Bible says that our people perish for lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. And we'll preach that and turn it around and make it an era. But no, really. Get some education. Learn what you need. So now I'm back in school, learning what I used to preach about, but in a different aspect. In a different, the scriptures are becoming more light now, because you have to take some time out to study, as you say, to show yourself approved. So a workman need not be in, but you have to, you have, because you never know. I think I heard T.D. Jakes say years ago, you may not need this now, but in about 6 months,
just wait.
It's coming back. It's coming. I think Ecclesiastes said there's a time and a place for every time to die, time to live. It's coming back. So make the best out of it. Make the best out of it.
And let's not die in the process.
Ooh,
you know, I think people have no hope. I think, and this is just my personal opinion, but I really think that because we hide our struggles in the church, we hide our struggles, we hide the things that we deal with, the things that we've gone through, and so people don't see that, and so they die in the process. Because I remember I hated math. Okay,
me too.
I hate math, and one of the things that they used to make you do is show your work. You know, and I'm like, but I know the answer.
That's good.
You know, but they wanted you to show your work.
Because you may know it, but somebody else needs to see the process.
And we're so scared. I don't know if it's fear or embarrassment, but as Black Christians, we don't want people to see our struggles, and not making it, oh, I did this, I did that, but you've got to show your work. How did you get from being this broken person to this great woman of God? You know what, I see the beginning, I see the end, but I don't see the middle. And when I can't trace it, then I'm like, okay, I can't do it. And then I die in the process. I give up. This is why I think that we're having an uptick in suicides. You know, an uptick in people just giving up. I just can't take it anymore. You know, not just children, but people that have been here on this earth for years. You know, I'm in my 50s, and I know people that have killed themselves, you know, at my age, that were educated, that knew, worked in psych, you know.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, I just can't, I refuse to lose more of my people, you know.
Yeah. And
my friends, my family. Something's got to give. Something's got to change. Somebody's got to be the first one to be like, look, you may think I have it all together, but I don't.
I really don't. And here's the thing that I would always say. There's a saying that I've heard. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Find the people that care. I don't care. There's a lot of people with knowledge and wisdom, but are you helping people with that wisdom and with that knowledge? Because you come to church or you go anywhere. If I go in the store and I see a woman with a bad attitude, I'm not going to her, because I know she don't care. She just wants to. What time? It's time for me to get up, and don't go near closing time.
Be like, why is you in here?
Why? You know we close at 5, but what about after hours?
I like that.
Can you? I don't like to be a seen, known. I'm gonna catch you after work. I'm gonna put you in the after hours. And that's what we need. The glitz, the glamour, and the glam, that's all fine and good, but you have too many people dying every single day, and they're not, they don't, they feel that they don't have no help, and you're up here on 10. I'm down here on -1. -1.
It's like there's no voice for the voiceless.
No, that's it. No voice.
They're not being heard. And you know, one of the things that we used to talk about in sight is that you have to watch them. You know, because everything is not going to be verbal, and if you can catch it at the beginning, then you can cut off that explosion later.
Absolutely.
So, and it's talking about discernment. You know, why are we not watching? Why are we're not listening? It's not about the next gig you can get preaching someplace. It's about the people. But one of the things that like I was saying, is that we have to listen. We have to take the cues, you know. Why and we need to start young. I just really believe that if we can catch it when they're young, you know, we can at the times when they're most vulnerable. You know, we have to watch why are these babies doing this? Why are they acting this way? You know, why the change of behavior, you know, and we have to realize that the world is not like it used to be. When we were young, you know, you could go walking. We'd go when the sun came up, and we wouldn't come back until the sun came down. But now,
not today. We're in a different day. I believe the scripture says that this generation is wiser, but they're wicked.
More wicked.
Very wicked. A lot of them don't. Their talking is online, and even in that, you have to be personable. You can't be judgmental. The Bible says, "Judge ye not, lest you be in the same situation and fall." So you want to let them express. And these youth today, they're different. You know, they're very different. They're very different. But even in that, I think being qualified helps, because, like you say, you took a course in psych. I think we need to have courses. We need to have courses. The church needs to open up its doors and not just, because from Sunday to Sunday, you know, I'll go in and get my word on Sunday, but Monday is coming.
Yes. And it comes hard.
And because it challenged the very word that you just preached. Paul said, I have to beat my flesh to make it line up with the word I just preached. So so imagine the word you just heard. Satan is going to come and try to knock it out of you. You really have to. You can't be so judgmental, pointing the finger at you, and 3 others are pointing back at me. So have a dialogue, whether it's online or what we're doing now. You want someone who will listen, and those that are younger, or even the old people acting like they're young now. What? Wait.
Hey. Wait a minute now.
Because you know, I'm just a few years older. 21.
I love it.
Yes, ma'am. So we have to. I think the church needs to incorporate classes.
That that right there is a wonderful idea.
We need
I
to
mean,
incorporate classes during the week, so
yeah.
your message or your delivery can be better at because if you make a deposit every day, when it's time to get the withdrawal, you only gonna withdraw what you deposited.
Right.
So
Right.
if you deposit classes, you deposit social media, like what we're doing now on Sunday, you'll be able to withdraw because you've done the work.
Right.
You've invested in your own healing.
Yes.
And
it's equipping people,
equipping them, and equipping them. And that a lot of pastors are dying because they're not taking care of themselves. The very thing that you're preaching to them, you're not even doing.
Right.
So,
and you're so right. You're so right. We've got, because it's stress will kill.
It's and there is not one test that can diagnose stress.
Exactly.
I don't care, exam, all the different images, nothing can you will see what stress has done, and they medicate that, but you can't medicate stress.
It's too late. By the time they can see it, it's too late.
Yes. That's why the headache, you need to pay attention now, because you have no idea what is down the line.
Right. And you are so 100% right, because every day, stress comes in all aspects of your life.
Every aspect.
As soon as you wake up, it's stressful because you know either one or two things. You stress because you don't have a job, or you stress because you don't like your job and you gotta go, and so that's a stressful thing. Then you stress because you gotta find a job. You stress at work because they don't pay you enough to do everything that you're doing. So I'm stressed on the 1st, the 15th, and the 31st because I don't know how I'm gonna pay nothing, But you gotta keep on going. You gotta keep on pressing on, like you say, and not get lost in the process. And I think mentorship is I have a few people that I would call mentors, people that I can call and talk to. As a matter of fact, I just got a text message, because when we doing the podcast, I turn my phone on airplane mode, which means can't no phone calls come in. So Pastor Laura just messaged me talking about what's wrong with your phone, why you not answering. Listen, when we talk, let me veer off. Let me talk about somebody that will hold you accountable. That woman right there has held me accountable for the past 25 years. And I don't feel her foot coming off my neck no time soon. She had been gone for a while, pastoring her own church. She came back recently. I was sitting. I had to get up and do something. Baby, she texted me, "Where is you at?" She said, "Church is not out in the foyer." I said, "Really? You've been back that long, and you on me? But come on!"
But you know what? You're tremendously blessed, because what you did not get growing up, God gave it to you now, and now you can also be someone's mentor.
Pastor McIntosh, I hear you, but it's a lot.
Come on, lift the hands and say thank you. I receive it.
But I'm telling you, you don't understand. I have got to, because I love them, and I know where it's coming from, and I know I need it. But listen, sometimes I be like, y'all not, they don't treat me like I'm 51. They treat me like I'm 14. And I'm like, am I ever going to be grown? And I asked her that one time. I said, am I ever going to be grown in your eyes? She told me no. She looked me dead in my face and told me no. And then told me to go sit down.
Somebody ought to say, that's love. Listen, love hard. And you know what? I can see that. I can see that, because those that you really love, you never let up on them. Because you want them better.
Yes.
And you know, maybe you prayed for that.
I did. I didn't know what I was praying for though. But you know what? I'm complaining and I'm talking about it, but I wouldn't change them for the world. I have, and listen, I have layers of people. Like an onion. So I have the people that boss me around, which would be my pastor, my pastor's wife, Pastor Laura, Mother Deborah Paramore. Okay, they boss me around. It don't even matter. They don't care.
They care.
They don't care about bossing me around.
Oh, okay.
They be like, I said what I said. What you gonna do? I mean, that's what they. And I'm like, I come from the streets. I fight people, but they like what? What?
And listen, my saying is, I'm a thug. I was a thug in the streets, but now I'm a true hero under God.
Listen,
that's the thug that I am. But don't mess with me. Don't
listen. I'm still working. Look, I have come a long way, and I love, because my pastor tells me, he says, I'm so proud of you because you have come a long way. When I first came to the church, I've been at the church for 25 years. Wow. And when I first came there, I was a feral little creature. I was feral. I was like one of them cats that's been born outside and they've never been in the house before. Yes, I had no home training. I was a mess. And yet these folks, they took me in, they gathered me up, and they ain't let me go since. And they've been
but you're tremendously blessed, because as you said earlier, there's so many people now that are taking their lives because they don't have that ear. Even when you're not in a place to hear, you have someone that is constantly calling your name out in prayer. Have the hand of God over you, even when you're in the wrong place that you should not be. Prayer will meet you at the door. Baby, turn around, because you don't belong here. Or the Lord will wake them up in the middle of the night and send them a message. Honey, look, my knees is rusty from being on the ground carrying these people. But I appreciate God for people like Sherman Allen or Tanya and Pastor Lord, all those people, because it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village, and I thank God for your village. I really do, and
because they re-raised me. They re-raised me. They still raising me. Listen, we dug deep into some deep stuff, but let me tell you, I got a story.
All right.
So back in the day, this is when you talk about praying and people. So I used to love to roller skate.
Okay, I love
and they used to roller skate on Sunday nights. You go to the skating rink and they roller skate on Sunday nights and
it's half price on Sunday night.
Yes. Well, this was back when Pastor used to call night services. So we was in church Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday night. So this was in my younger years. Right. I didn't listen whatsoever. But the people was praying for me. And I skipped church to go roller skate.
Okay.
Let's just say that I ended up on crutches for the next 3 months.
Lord have mercy.
Listen, I never skipped church to do nothing like that again. I said, notice to do nothing like that again. So, I'm telling you, they did not feel sorry for me, Pastor McIntosh.
I know
they talked about me.
Oh.
Listen, I love them, but I was a little hard-headed thing. And so you're right. It takes a village, because I like to say that God saved my soul, but they saved my life.
That's good.
Because
That's really good.
I just really, and it's all wrapped up in the mental health thing. I really don't believe that I would be here now if it weren't for them.
And that's absolutely correct and good. I see a picture of you remember those lifesavers? Different flavors.
Yeah.
Some of them taste good to your taste buds, and you like, ooh.
Yeah.
So, and someone was like, you need those lifesavers. You're gonna have somebody, when you're not doing right, that tastes pretty bitter. Well, you'll get past it, and then you do something right.
Yeah,
Red was my favorite color because I love blood.
It.
I love the blood. Oh. Yeah, and it doesn't leave a hard taste in the mouth, sweeter than the honey on the honeycomb. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
Pastor McIntosh, thank you so much for being the first guest on Broken for Purpose podcast. Back in action. We're gonna have you back. I love you. I love you.
I love you, and ain't a thing you can do about it.
Okay, so guys, thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
I hope that you come back. We're gonna have lots of other interviews, lots of other topics.
Yeah.
But today is a special one because it was the first day back. So I just want to thank you. And we'll see you next time.
God bless.
Bye-bye.